Hello, guys. It's Will still here from the UK, and we have one more artist. This time, it's an artist that was mixing rock and after some time mixing with EDM or electronic music, but he's a master, and we have a lot to learn with him. Okay, we are going to talk with Anthony Casuccio from the USA. And Anthony, just let us know where you are now and what kind of music you are doing.
How's it going, Will? I'm so happy to be here. So I'm talking to you from East Amherst, New York. That is in upstate New York. That is a suburb of Buffalo, close to Lake Erie. And I'm happy to be in this hometown. This is where I grew up. I spent a lot of time in New York City. I lived in California and decided to come back here. It's a great place to raise a family, create music. It gives myself a lot of opportunity, and it's also afforded me to teach. And you mentioned EDM. I've always been a rock guy. I'm a guitar player. I love music from Van Halen to the Beatles and everything in between. But I had some students who turned me on to EDM, and I started DJing and playing at some clubs and getting into this electronic music. I used to live in San Francisco, so I think that's also an area that turned me on to dance music. And I've just kind of been melding that together in my latest creations and just having fun and trying to interject some guitar into some dance music. That's really what it's
That's
coming down to. I want to make
that's so
people move.
interesting. That's so interesting. And am I pronounce your name correctly?
You
Anthony
did.
Casuccio.
Casuccio. Yep.
It's Italian origin, right?
It's Italian. Yes. Yes.
So I should say Anthony Casuccio.
Casuccio. Yes.
That's good, and it's a good artistic name. It's your original name, but it's a good artistic name too. So you are lucky.
Yes. I'll take it.
So talking about mixing music genres, I love it. But rock with EDM is not easy because uh, guitar riffs, etc., and then electronic effects from EDM. How you started doing it obviously was by influence of your students that
Yes.
you are teaching, right?
Correct.
Music production.
Yes. Music production and music business. So I teach on the
Music.
college. I teach on the college level, as well as I do music
Wow,
production. Yeah. I do.
guys, we have here a master. Okay, we have so many question teachers.
Yeah. So I have my own audio production business. I've had it since 2001. After I worked for Sony and I was in New York City for 10 years doing production, um, always made my own music, and came back to Buffalo, got into teaching at a college here called Villa Maria. They've been amazing because they've just really believed in my abilities, believed in my ability to disseminate the information that I'm learning. And one of the things that I find really helpful is I'm releasing music on a regular basis. I started with a band um, maybe 8 or 9 years ago. And then when COVID hit, I started doing my solo stuff. And I've had a lot of success. I take that success, I take what I've learned from that, and I've been putting it into the classroom and interjecting it into my lessons. And I can give some real world examples to my students of, like, listen, here's how you have to promote. You have to write your bio. You have to have, these things all lined up before you release a song. You can't just release a song. You have to use social media. You have to use traditional marketing. So for me, I love doing that. I find this, I don't want to say a game because I don't want to belittle the music industry, because it's not, but I look at it as a challenge. And every time I have a new release, I want to see if I can take it farther, just for my own personal gain. But I also have something to share, you know? So um, that's what got me into the EDM. But I'm a guitar player. How can I write music and not have guitar? Right. So for me, I added some guitar, maybe some acoustic in the background. Like there's an artist like Mateo or Griffin that have guitar in the background on top of the melodic beats and melodic, arpeggios. And then I rip off a really killer solo in all my music. So if you check me out, you'll hear that there's definitely some sort of guitar solo in almost every song that I do.
That's great. I love it. I love because when we talk about music genres mixing, it's for me it brings me to optimization of what we already have. And in the music industry, especially in the independent music industry, because everyone can have a computer
Yeah.
or any electronic equipment to make music, we started to have some uh, too much of the same. Let's say like that. And,
Yes.
and some guys, they bring innovation and optimization like you do, with our music mixing, for example, EDM and rock, or rap and rock, or anything else like classic music with hip hop. It's incredible. I love it. And obviously, I was listening a little bit of your songs, and I just loved it too because it just got in my ears, man. The melody, the lyrics. There is a part of one verse I wasn't trying to memorize that, and I couldn't forget after 10 minutes. I don't
I
know what
love that.
I don't know what you do, but I want to learn that. What did you do?
It's funny. I've always had an ear for melody and hooks. And even when I was living in New York City, I had a friend who's like, God, your hooks are so great. Too bad the rest of your music couldn't be that good. And that kind of, stuck with me. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, what are you talking about? My verses are good, but it definitely pushed me to work harder on my songwriting skills. And then flash forward like 10 years later, an ad agency reached out to me to do some jingle work. So for commercials. So I ended up,
For marketing.
yes. So I ended up,
Oh,
they're like, you have these great hooks. And as a friend of mine who pulled me in and said, can you write a song for this company? And I did. And then we started doing more. And I've probably written maybe 60 or 70 jingles over the past 15 or 20 years, some on the local level, some on the national level. And that's also helped me figure out, hey, what can I do that is going to resonate with the listeners, And so I've been working on that. Although I do feel it's something that's innate. It's something that you just have. I don't want to say it's a gift, but yeah, it kind of is
oh
an
no,
understanding.
I'm gonna say it's a gift. Sorry, but I have to say it's a gift. It's not for everyone. And that's the reason you are here, because I'm very curious, and I can see the value of your art because of that too. Okay, because
Yes.
of the music quality, and also because of that. So I can tell you this is a gift. And shut up, because I know what I'm saying.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I think I have an appreciation for a really good melody. And that's something that I've always gravitated towards. I think that's why growing up, when I was younger, a lot of my friends were listening to hair bands and heavy metal, and I was listening to the Beatles and really appreciating their harmonic structure, their chord progressions, and how they wrote a song. Now, granted, I also listen to some of the hair band and alternative music and stuff, but I try to also again fuse those ideas together with my early writing. Just having good melodic structure and harmonies. I love harmonies, and I
I
think
can
that's
see that.
I think yeah, that's a key to having a good melody. When I was writing jingles, my thought was I like to have different harmonies because if someone's listening to listening to the jingle in a car, if they can't sing high, well, I'll give them a low part to sing to. Or if they're a female and they want to sing high, I have a high part. So I'm trying to put something in the music that everybody can gravitate towards and sing along to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like good for radio, and this is a difficult thing to do, especially because we have the streaming services platforms. Um, Anyone can send music to the streaming services, and
Yes.
we see sometimes like Spotify with 64 million tracks that nobody was listening, so it's stuck over there, and we have to um, put on the spotlight people like you that are doing something different, and you have an idea about the music industry before, during the time that was analogic stuff, and then after the transition to the digital, you learned all of those things, and now about all the digital music on streaming services, and you adapt like a genius. And what I have to say is, man, congratulations for that, because
I Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's a lot of work and it's still changing rapidly. What I did 2 years ago is not working now. If you asked me 2 years ago, would I have to be, uploading content to TikTok? I would have said you're crazy. But here we are. You have to look at where we've been and where we're going and try to meld those together to be successful. And you had a very good point. 64 million songs with no listens. You're a needle in a haystack when you release music these days because everybody can do it. So I tell my students, I tell myself, I tell anybody who'll listen, what are you going to do to stand out above that bin of everybody who's just putting stuff out there?
I know. Learn with Anthony Casuccio.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. But you have to work. You know, uh, Once the song is done, that's when the work starts. That's when you have to really start thinking about what am I going to do now? I can't just put it out on the streaming service and sit back and hope everybody finds it. No, everybody's doing that. You got to work.
Yeah,
You've got to promote. You've got to make phone calls. You got to email people. You have to let them know that you exist. And
exactly.
you have to think about that. And who has budgets these days? Nobody. So you have to do it yourself.
Exactly. That's exactly what I say. One thing I know that works well is don't worry about numbers when we're starting, because this is an illusion. Because we know a lot of people. I know a lot of people that were using bots and putting fake plays just to inflate numbers, etc. And that doesn't work. Why I'm saying that? Because I am the owner of a music distribution platform that's distributing music worldwide for independent artists, and we have a system that's based on AI. It's detecting all the bots, and we have to strike the tracks. Just goes down. We
Right.
cannot accept that, because it's unfair for those that are not doing it too. So and also it's against the music streaming platforms, so we have to bring down. And I feel it's painful. It's a shame, because I know that the artist is working well, but then goes to things that's against the rules. And what can I do?
And
And then that's what I'm saying about the illusion of numbers. When they are starting music, independent musicians and singers, etc., don't try to compete with influencers, because they are not influencers, they are
right.
musicians. And when you do what you love with passion and excellence, the right audience will find you. Because when they are scrolling, they listen a bit of your music. They hear just a little bit and click. They click and follow because they like your music.
Yes.
And I think you agree with that. What's your
I,
opinion about it?
100%. And I have a couple things to say about that too. So, first of all, one of the things that I use is I use my analytics. Right. I'm always looking to see where people are coming from, how they discover my music, how long are they listening. Although I don't let that influence my songwriting, but I do look at that. And I want to know where they're coming from. So I'm thinking about, well, not thinking about, I'm in the process of trying to work out a tour. And one of the things that I want to bring to the table with some venues is to say, look at, hey, you're going to book me in Pittsburgh. I had, 75 to 100 listeners a couple days ago from Pittsburgh or over the summer. So there are people who know about me. So I can use Spotify to say, hey, I'm coming to Pittsburgh.
Can I
So
make a question?
yeah,
When you are planning, for example, Pittsburgh, and then you have the analytics behind it, and then you have digital advertisements that you can segment only for people from Pittsburgh, and also say that you will be in that venue for people that lives close to the venue. So the artists must know about it too, the independent artists, because they don't have a big team behind them. So they must learn about advertisement too, and not using fake bots or fake plays, etc. Right? That's the
yes,
right thing to do.
right. And so you hit a good point. There are ways. So you could take targeted ads out. You could, for $50, I could use social media and target people just in Pittsburgh a couple weeks ahead of time saying, I'm coming to Pittsburgh. And that's great. So if you use bots, excuse me, if you use bots, you're not getting that information correctly because it's fake users, you know? And that's why I tell students, don't do that. Now, one of the things that I've been doing and trying to do, which I have to be careful about, is I've been pitching the playlists. I want people to put me on their playlists. Um, Sometimes the playlist might not be real and I might not know that. And that's why I have to be careful, because I don't want to be associated with that and then get skewed or bounced, like. So I'm trying to look for services or people who have playlists in addition to their other outlets, so that I know it's a legitimate playlist, because I don't want to be put on a playlist that could be all bots.
Oh,
So you,
I can give you an example. Like we have the articles we publish in many different music portals, organized by music genre. So we have a music news portal just for hip hop, another one just for rock, another one just for pop music, and the playlist we organize there is just to organize the artists that we are talking about in that article. So it's not a playlist to boost numbers like those playlists with 2 million followers,
mhm.
No, that's a small playlist just to give the chance for the readers to get a small playlist organized with those articles we are talking about, and that's it. If they want to follow, they follow. If they want to copy some musics they like, they just add to their personal playlist just those
Right.
songs they like. And that's the best thing to do, because when you have many small playlists with your music, the algorithm will just consider your music a bit more important than
Right.
that one that's in only one playlist, for example. You know,
Yeah.
doesn't matter about numbers. It's more spreading the word about your music.
Right. And see, you just hit that on the head too. That's something that people weren't paying attention to 2 years ago. Is you don't need big numbers to actually have the algorithm of these streaming services find you and pay attention to you, and then serve you up to other likes or other listeners who are going to like your music. The algorithm is strong. They know what people's preferences are. So the idea is to get the algorithm to pick you up and then feed you out. And you don't have to have a million streams for it to do that. It just seems that you're having a good trajectory, or they're seeing something that they like, or the algorithm likes, and then
And
tells this
melodies,
person.
melodies like Anthony Casuccio is making, because
Yes.
it now Spotify and many other streaming services, they have this AI system that is doing the recommendation based on the sound, based on the melody, based on the similarity with the music genre. So if you have a song that's similar to Beatles, and
Yeah.
somebody is just creating a new playlist with music songs from Beatles, your song will be recommended.
Wow. See, I did not know that. I did not know that the AI now is listening to melodies, or analyzing the melodic structure.
It
That's
is.
amazing.
It
I like
is.
to hear that. That helps me. So
So let's work, man, because you have your hands full of a gift that God gave you. So you can work on that now. Spotify now has I don't know if it's available in your country, but here in the UK it's available. We can speak to the AI and say, we want to make me a playlist like Beatles. It's gonna make, doesn't matter from where your song is, from which country you are. The AI will find you and put on that playlist instantly. You don't have to work with
wow.
your fingers anymore. And you can sometimes say, make me a good playlist to sleep well. If you have a song that's acoustic, just guitar, ta-na-na, the melody sounds like it's good to sleep, the AI will find our music. And then
Wow,
you
that's
have to
amazing.
make music for situations, and not music just for radio or just for dancing.
Right, right.
Make me a good music to have a relaxing shower. The AI will understand what's relaxing and
Right.
shower.
I've done that, like, for parties, like make me a party mix or something like.
Exactly.
Yes.
Make me a good playlist for dancing. Your song, for example, Lighthouse, could be there.
Yes. Yes.
And you don't know from where these people is. They are just trying to dance, and you have songs to dance, but not only for dancing. That's the good thing. Diversify mixing music genres, and AI will work with our music for sure.
Right. And that's the future. I mean, it's not even the future, it's the now. So I think that's a very important point. The algorithm, the AI part of the algorithm, you know, work with it.
Exactly. Make it your assistant. Don't reject it.
Exactly.
Like
You know,
we can just go with the wave and not crash against it, because then that we are going to be behind in some months. I can tell you some
yes.
months. Now I want to listen to your song.
Sure.
Life Goes On.
Okay.
What is that about?
So now we talked about EDM and my melding of guitar, and this is a little bit different. This is a ballad. And I haven't written a ballad in a long time. I release singles. I'm a very I shouldn't say that. I've had two EPs, but I always release a single off the EP. I really like um to have upbeat music. But the past, the start of the year, I had some family issues, some tough times. I lost my mother, and she was, sick for a while, and I was taking care of her. And just with everything that happened in that time frame, I just didn't have time to actually sit down and think or mourn. And taking care of the funeral, taking care of the hospital bills, hospitals, aides, all this. So then a month went by after she passed, and another month went by, and I'm like, wow, I just have everything bottled up inside. I just can't seem to grieve. And one night, I just watched a really sappy, bad movie, and I just let it all out. My emotions came pouring out. I started to cry. I was just letting everything out. Was so happy. I said to myself, finally, I'm finally letting this out. And then I went and I came up with a song lyric about seeing your room and how empty your room is, because my mom lived with me. And then I wrote this whole song, Life Goes On. And that's where that song came from. It just came from me grieving and letting go. And it's a tribute to my mom, but it's actually a tribute to both my parents. My father passed 11 years ago, and he's one of my best friends, and that's what the song is about. So it's definitely a ballad with acoustic guitar, but if you listen to the chorus parts, there are some arpeggiated keyboard that definitely have an EDM flavor to it. So I'm still trying to meld both worlds here.
Can I say there is a little bit of melancholy on that song?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, it's I don't know how to say that, but I love melancholy. I know sometimes it's sad, you feel sad listening to melancholy, but I like it. Suffering, I like it.
It's
There is a,
real.
a kind of connection that it makes with the audience in a better way, because you, the artist, is vulnerable. It's a vulnerable moment. And this connects better with the audience. That's me. And that's why I love it. And sometimes I cry too, just listening to music.
Music is emotional. I feel music is the soul, music is life. So I'm right there with you.
Great. Let's try then. Life Goes On, Anthony Casuccio. But before, I'm gonna tell you guys, if you want to try his songs, just go to Spotify, Anthony Casuccio, Instagram, Anthony Casuccio Music, Facebook, Anthony Casuccio, YouTube is the same name, Anthony Casuccio, number one at the end, and website, anthonycasuccio.hearnow.com. Is there any other one like TikTok?
I think TikTok is Anthony Casuccio as well.
Okay, great. Oh, Anthony Casuccio. Or go to Google and put Anthony Casuccio. You are gonna find him. He's everywhere. Thank God. So let's go to Spotify now. Life goes on. Oh,
When I walk into your old room, I can see you there where you once stood. Now we carry on without you. I try to be strong for my growing too. Now I know that life goes on, full of possibility, but this room is so empty without you. I miss your words, I miss your smile, the family time, it was so nice. Your strength, your jokes, the love you gave, first kiss, first job, the wanted advice. Thank you, but life goes on, life goes on. Pictures may rip, pictures may fade. I miss you both, and to God I prayed and thanked Him for the life you made. For me, my sis, the kids, and more of the love you gave. I often get sad when I think of the past, realize my life's path over, and it won't last forever.
Oh, good. Wow.
I miss your words, I miss your smile, the family time, it was so nice. Your strength, your jokes, the love you gave, first kiss, first job, the wanted advice. Without you, life goes on, life goes on, and on and on and on. We carry on, and on and on. We carry I miss your words, I miss your smile, the family time, it was so nice. Your strength, your jokes, the love you gave, first kiss, first job, the wanted advice, the camping trips, the soccer games. My biggest fan, you always came. The sacrifice, the lessons learned, you're in my heart, respect was earned. Thank you. Life goes on, life goes on, life goes on, life goes on.
Wow. I'm just having an overdose of pleasure listening to that. Really, man. It's amazing. I
Thank
love
you
it.
so much.
The guitar riffs and that evolution, the drops, everything. It's perfect for my personal playlist.
Thank you.
Makes
I
me,
appreciate that so much. I really do.
it's like a proper, traveling to a different dimension because then I forget about everything. And if I have a good earphone, then a glass of wine, I don't need anything else.
Yes. All right.
Amazing. Wow. So, how can you do that? That kind of melody just stuck in my head. Even that and on and on and on. It's something very simple, but makes me memorize the song.
You know,
Fuck.
and this is so I have a secret weapon as well for this song and some of my other songs. I have a friend, Robin Grant, and she's helped me with the harmonies on this and played bass. And Like that middle part is I'm doing a low part, and then we stack her voice. And I will confer with her and say, here's what I'm looking for, and here's what I'd like. But you take it and help me with the harmonies in these certain sections. Like for the chorus parts, like I know I wanted a minor third or major third over the melody. But, she came up with this. She said, we have to repeat this. I said, you know what? That's a great idea. Let's do that. And then she helped me create that middle part. And she gave me different variations, and I kind of cut them up and put them together. And that one harmony, she goes on, and you hear that, and you hear the stack, and in headphones, it's just brilliant. And I have it panned out, and that's all part of my innate, ability to just gravitate towards these harmonies and hear them, and then try to have someone help me with them, or I'll sing them myself. I just love the stack, that production of various voices to try to pull the listener in. And I think it really, really works on this song.
I can tell you the sentence "without you," there is a melody there that I can identify in another song, and it's amazing because makes it very familiar in my ears. I just loved, like, first sight, first hear.
Right. Yes.
It's a good trick as well. You are not copying. You are not doing like plagio. No, you are. How can I say? It's you are using other songs as an inspiration.
Correct.
And that's
Always.
amazing, amazing, especially with Beatles things, because it's familiar and grabbing the ears, and people find it at the first hear. It's a little bit like, oh, I know that, but I don't know these artists, but I know from where, and then you keep listening and repeat, 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 and you love it instantly. You don't need to do anything else.
And it's funny because if you really listen, there are a lot of influences in that song that people don't they don't get. But for me, I was a big I guess progressive rock. I didn't really like hair band, but there's a group called Rush and another group called Triumph. Rick Emmett, who I got a chance to meet, which was, I never get starstruck. I've worked with enough stars. And then I met this gentleman, like, but he was just wonderful with acoustic guitar in the 80s, and how he melded rock and acoustic guitar. And that's always been something I've always gravitated to. So you can hear the acoustic guitar in the beginning. It's similar to that. You hear the Beatles, you hear some hard rock. The solo
Exactly.
is definitely something else, so it's, and then the melody on top of the keyboard is definitely an EDM influenced.
Exactly. Is there a violin there, like orchestral
Yes,
sounds?
there's a cello part that I played.
I loved that thing, man. For real. Just gave me some goosebumps on that part.
I
And
just wanted to fill it in. It helped for me, um, frame the mood of the song, especially the entrance and the intro and the first verse. That string made it feel real, and the tension. You could feel the tension in my heart and my mind with that cello part. That's really what I was going for. So I'm
and
really glad to hear that.
that's one interesting thing as well. You are not going in very high notes with your voice, but you have a kind of cry on your voice. And that's a kind of emotional connection and vulnerability that you are showing, that people relate to. And when they feel pain of loss, sometimes they listen to this kind of song, it goes forever in their lives. It's timeless.
That I'm so glad that you brought that up and you pointed that out. That's amazing. So when I demoed the song, I was writing the song, and in my studio here, I was just demoing it, and I recorded the vocals. And the first and second verse had such an emotion, I left them. So what people are hearing is supposed to be the scratch vocals, me just singing it for the first time. It might not be the strongest vocal line I've ever done, let's say compared to Lifehouse. So you can hear I can sing. I don't think I'm a great singer, but I think I do what's right for the song.
No, shut up. He is a great singer, guys. Don't listen to him. I know that.
Thank you.
Listen to
Thank
me.
you.
He's amazing.
But the beginning part was so raw. I had to leave it. It was exactly my emotion, and what I was feeling when I wrote the song, and it just came out. I'm like, that's it. I will, when I redo the song, you know, when I actually really record it, I'm going to keep those parts. And I did. And that's what I think really resonates with the song. It's real.
That's the best we could do, man, because I was almost crying with you there.
Wow, that makes
Yeah.
me feel so great. I just want people to just appreciate the emotion, and maybe they can connect with it in some way because they've lost somebody. And if it makes them just remember someone they love or lost, you know, great. That's what it's about.
And you made it. So now that I know your melancholic side, I want to know about the EDM side.
Sure.
So Lighthouse, is it a good bet? Like listen to Lighthouse now?
Sure, absolutely.
And what is that about?
So, you know, Lighthouse was really, you know, it's really supposed to be a love song, right? I started it out thinking about, you know, past relationships, future relationships. And then I thought, you know, it's definitely about love. And there are a couple lines in there that might be personal to me. But then I thought, you know what? It's more than about love. It's about connecting with somebody, whoever that is, or maybe connecting to a higher power. So I kind of left it a little bit ambiguous on purpose because I wanted it to resonate with people saying, you know what, there's somebody or something out there that will help guide you back if you're lost. Whether it's back home mentally, back home physically, back home to your heart because you got your heart broken or you lost something. That's really what the song is about.
Great. And then you just brought a different melody, a different music style for the time, and changed your style a little bit to EDM, and you end up making people dancing
Yes.
with okay, that's nice. It's a good mix. Let's listen to that then.
Sure.
You are my guiding light when I'm feeling low. Your love is like a beacon in the night. It helps me know. In this dark and cold world, I'm feeling lost and alone. But then I saw the light that you shone. I've been wandering for so long, searching for a place to belong. I wasn't looking in the right direction till I stumbled on your perfection. You are my guiding light, like a beacon in the night. Shine away the shadow of doubt. You are the ray that warms my heart. Your love is my lighthouse, never letting us drift apart. Your love is my lighthouse, leading me home. Where am I going, and where should I be? Your love is the one thing that helps me see, illuminating my way. I found my path once more, and I felt my heart open wide as I washed up on the shore. You are my guiding light, like a beacon in the night. Shine away the shadow of doubt. You are the ray that warms my heart. Your love is my lighthouse, never letting us drift apart. Your love is my lighthouse, leading me home. So pure, your spirit so strong. You make me feel like I can do no wrong. I thought I was walking alone in the dark till I saw a light. It was your spark. see the shadow of doubt. You are the ray that warms my heart. Your love is my lighthouse, never letting us drift apart. Your love is my lighthouse, leading me home.
Great. Man, you are gifted about making good melodies and mixing different music genres. Because Lighthouse, I can tell you, I could identify Irish folk style mixed with rock, mixed with EDM and pop all together, and it works.
Thank you. Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. I just,
Amazing.
that song, you know, just listening to that with you and you know, thinking of it from another listener's perspective was just amazing, because it made me think about all the things I did and put into that song. Like you said, like that acoustic in the beginning does have that Irish flavor a little bit, you know?
Wow, that's crazy. Because we listen to Irish music and it's very uh it's folk. It's more you see it's more popular in the countryside, and you couldn't bring it to inside the nightclub. You know,
Right.
it's incredible, amazing. I love it. And how does it work with your live performances? Because
You know,
then you have
that's
to be a DJ and a rocker at the same time.
so that's a really good question. So now, you know, I'm always changing. So what's happening now, I'm looking to I've partnered with a booking agent who's has connections, you know, all over the United States, and we're trying to plan some small tours on the East Coast, like Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, Connecticut, and eventually we'd love to come to the UK. We have to find some connections with some promoters out there to see if we can work getting out there. That's the next step. But I put together a band, and we're right now in the process of rehearsing. So I've got a great keyboard player, a great bass player, and she also can sing harmonies with me. I've got a killer drummer. So the four of us are working on these songs to play live. So that's, you know, we'll see how it's working. So far, so good. I think the drummer that I have, a gentleman named Aaron Blockman, he's so good, and he's got such a good fast foot that he can make these. He can duplicate the EDM style drums.
Great, I
And
love
that's
it.
what I think works. And we're going to make it our own. You know, we're still going to keep it upbeat and and duplicate what the songs are, and have some fun. And hopefully people will come out and see us. We've got a big show planned here in town, September 6th, and we're going to film that show. So we have a live broadcast or a live, you know, we're going to do a live concert that we can use for content and distribute out there, and also then cut it up and get it to some talent buyers, and hopefully book a spring and summer tour.
Amazing, amazing. The most interesting thing, you are doing that by yourself, like you are directing this. You have a team, obviously. You said you have another producers behind it, but the main idea is yours, right?
Correct. Yep.
Wow,
It's a
that
learning experience, but I'm getting there.
wow, that's good. Obviously, nowadays, especially after the pandemic, we had to adapt. We
Yes.
couldn't keep doing the same after the pandemic. And during the pandemic, then if you comment, I have a lot of artists, they just gave up because they couldn't keep performing. It was all closed, lockdowns, etc. They lost the energy for that. And,
Yes. It's too
and
bad. It's unfortunate that that was the end result. You know, I know a lot of artists that adapted ended up doing concerts or streaming concerts. You know, we now my band that I was in called A&L, that was before my solo stuff. And that stands for Anthony and Lana. And we did it really not out of a joke, but we didn't think it would take off. And we ended up having a bunch of hits in the UK on the indie charts, as well as what I'm doing solo. And I remember this was pre-COVID. One of the promoters that I was working with said, "Hey, I'll give you the login. We've got a satellite channel. Why don't you do a live show and we'll broadcast it across Europe?" We ended up doing that. I don't know. I couldn't get the data to see how many people watched it, but I'm assuming some people did, because it went out to a bunch of different stations and networks, from France, Germany, Albania to the UK, everywhere. And it was so funny. I was thinking to myself, wow, that was a precursor to COVID, and it was a big deal. Now it's more commonplace. People are streaming all over the place and doing concerts from their bedroom, and or concerts are in big venues are still being broadcast. So
Yeah, that's great. When I talk about adaptation, I talk about this what we are doing here too, because before it's the access to an interview or any talk show was so difficult and so expensive, even for mainstream artists from
yeah,
major labels. Very expensive. And now we can go to digital TV, Roku, Amazon Fire. Everyone can just access that on smart TVs connected to the internet and watch, discover independent artists, independent producers in different channels. And that's our case. Super Pop TV goes to a Brazilian TV channel. That's people who likes to understand what is happening outside Brazil, including independent artists. So it's an adaptation, and it,
yes,
it was born from the pandemic. Actually, I didn't have this channel before. It was during the pandemic we had like, oh, we can't work, lost all contracts, lost a lot of money because nobody could give money back.
right,
And then what we could do, just adapt and keep going, and that's what we are doing. And Anthony, I'm gonna say your social networks again,
sure,
otherwise I'm gonna forget it. So Anthony Casuccio, Spotify Anthony Casuccio, Instagram Anthony Casuccio Music, Facebook Anthony Casuccio, YouTube Anthony Casuccio, one at end, and website Anthony Casuccio .hearnow.com, right?
correct,
And TikTok Anthony Casuccio.
yes.
Great. Uh, uh, Unfortunately, we have to finish this interview. Oh God, it's horrible because I could be speaking to you forever. I have
Likewise,
a lot to learn, but we can have another interview when you have a new release.
sure,
All right.
absolutely.
And was it this interview good for you? What do you
Oh,
think?
I had such a great time, and you have such insightful questions. I was so thrilled because just what you picked out and pulled out of the music just really made me feel good that you got what I was trying to deliver musically to the public.
Oh, could I read? Could I read your music properly? What?
Yes. Yeah, you
Really?
interpreted it well. It was great, man. It just you got what I was going for, and I'm just so happy because and you asked me these great questions that I could then say this is what I meant, this is where I was going, and just give people a little bit of a guide to what I was feeling when I wrote these songs.
Oh, now I feel happy with that because that's what I try to do, to read the artist, because that's what you do with your art. You need
Yeah,
people to read your music with feelings, with not only with their eyes on social networks with a picture, right? It's
absolutely, yes.
about reading the sound. And I feel happy that I could do that.
Well,
I will
thank you.
do,
I appreciate being here so much.
you made my day. I need to have more interviews with you to feel motivated.
All right.
We'll do we'll do the opposite. I will have an interview, but I will be the guest.
Sounds good. I will do a role reversal. Absolutely.
Right. So, do you have any special message to people that will be discovering your music now?
I hope you like it. I hope it resonates with you. And if it does, let me know. You've got my socials. You're seeing me on this show. Reach out, say hello. And like I said, I write music for me as a release. It's in my soul, but at the same time, I want other people to hear it and feel good and get a smile on their face. That's really what it's for. And if that's what it does, let me know. I would greatly appreciate that.
Oh, I have people here asking if you are single.
I am single. Yes.
Don't contact him about relationship. It's only about professional things.
Well, yeah, no, okay.
No, well, I'm single.
Yeah.
Right. So good luck with your development of your career, Anthony. And
Well, thank you
we are
so
going to
much.
publish an article about your work. about these tracks that we most like, including Life Goes On, that's the last one. And also, we are going to attach this interview in the text so people can read about you and watch the interview at the same page. All right?
Awesome. Thank you so much. I had such a great time, Will. I appreciate everything and just
Amazing.
being here.
Okay, stay online. We are going just to have a video that will finish the interview, but I'm gonna talk to you.
Sure.
Great. See you, and until next time.
All right.